welcome everyone. This will be the start of the second video. If you are not yet, haven't watched the first part, it's okay. This is the actual tier list. We're going to be ranking things on pure power. I have Tanner Lindberg here with me, and we are going to go through, and I can't wait to hear Tanner Lindberg's 1 day of experience on RBDs and where the RBDs various keystones and abilities are ranking here. It'll be very interesting to see.
I wonder where the RBDs ranks. It's a puzzling question, you know. I've heard every opinion under the spectrum.
I want to hear the like the keystones. So the dog keystones and the dog and all that stuff is probably where I'm most interested. Let's save it. Let's make people kind of sit on it. I want to go by auras, then blitzes. Yeah. I mean, guys, you got to get that watch time up. I mean, I guess you could just skip to the end, and certainly someone out there is going to timestamp all this because I'm not fucking doing it. All right, let's start with the auras, and we'll start right here with the Ogrren's Toughness Regeneration aura. This is Stay Close, as I remember, and I'll also show it on the screen in case you need to see it. 15% toughness replenishment for you and allies in coherency. So, how do you feel about this one?
So, ever since they increased toughness regeneration, there was a time when all of this stuff was garbage. Now that it's just an increase to your toughness, like talents and stuff, because I remember the days, you know, back jingle jangle jingle, you know, back in the olden day when like this was just toughness coherency regen being increased. That was the worst thing ever. But now this is basically just a 0.15x increase to all of the percents that give you toughness back. Which is actually, like,
it's something.
Not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it's something. It's something now. Like, you're not actually griefing if you take this.
It is in a pretty accessible spot.
Exactly. And the fact that it takes you straight down the middle, I think that's what an aura should be. Honestly, not super game defining like Survivalist. It doesn't break any game mechanics like in Havoc. It doesn't like make you feel like shit for taking it, like the fucking 5% damage thing on Veteran. That feels bad. Could you, I honestly say it's like probably like I would say it's pretty standard. Maybe I'd have to. I think one thing about the tier list like this. I think something about a tier list like this is as you put more things on the board, you kind of get like a visual representation of where the power actually lies. Yeah. And I think that you'll be like, there's a lot of things in standard, but
there's definitely way more stuff that's better than this that I would take instead of it. The way I saw it when I was talking about like changes is that 15% toughness replenishment, it's good, but every class seems to have like so much toughness. Like, does RBDs need 15% more toughness replenishment when he can replenish his entire toughness in 1.2 seconds? No, you wouldn't even notice the difference because his replenishment is so crazy already. And then all the classes seem to be getting more stuff. So it's good, but it's not like, you're not like, oh shit, like that's going to keep me topped off or anything.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I think an aura should be. It should push you to play with your team. It shouldn't punish you for ignoring it. And it shouldn't feel so suffocating that you're like chained to this person.
Yeah, like the ammo. Okay, well, in terms of standard stuff, I would posit the second one, which is the 7.5% damage versus elites for Psykers. Is that also standard by your approximation?
I actually think this one is closer to niche because of a very simple reason, right?
It's competing with this one.
No, actually, I'm gonna assume we're not assuming that other things, because this isn't a traditional tier list where it's like, you know, is this thing S tier because you have to consider like the pathing restrictions?
Well, that we are also considering that, yeah. Like that's in terms of its overall power. Like it can't really be
fair.
It's general use, right? It's not niche. Like you aren't using this in a specific build.
Yeah.
It is worse than this one. That's for sure.
Well, my thing with that is you got to view it like the 5% base damage node on Veteran. Even though this one is better than that, there are so few breakpoints that this actually helps.
It's true.
And it's just, okay, let's put it this way. If you had the ability to put an extra 7.5% elite damage on your weapon, would you ever do that? Would you ever give up something for that? No. No.
The perk has 10% already, so it's like 30%.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like not even a tier 1 perk level of power. If this was bumped up to be at least 10%, there's a few things that would actually help. And considering how like Ogrren has like 10% heavy attack perks, and this is even more restrictive than that in what it affects.
Right.
Versus like, it just
Oh no,
feels
the
like
Ogrens is just 10% all melee now, by the way.
yeah,
So
no, you're right, It
good.
is. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Something that used to be 10% heavy attacks is now 10% for just all melee attacks. So why? I mean, this could be 7.5% damage for everything, not just elites, and it would still just be worse than the Ogrren version. And it's
That's
just
true.
like, when you look at it like that, I feel like 10% is the minimum standard you need to make something feel good.
That's and we'll be seeing that time and time again. There's a lot of nodes in here that just give like 10% for damage wise stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I would say is I don't think I would ever notice the difference. I don't think I've ever come within 7.5% of killing something and be like, shit, I didn't have my fucking psychonetics, whatever. Yeah. But I have come within 3 seconds of having a cooldown up and been like, fuck, if I had that right now, I would be all the difference. Speaking of Ogrren, you said Ogrren, this is Coward Culling. Coward Culling gives you 20% damage against suppressed enemies for you and allies in coherency, 25% suppression damage dealt. I think this is very solid, especially Correct. With Ogrren, like Ogrren with Rumbler, that suppresses the hell out of enemies. And like there's tons of effects in the game that will suppress enemies, generally just shooting in their direction. A lot of times you'll get them suppressed, and 20% damage boost to those enemies. You want to kill them before they get out of that phase. That's a sizable buff, and you're already taking it when you're over here for Rumbler use anyway. But yeah, I just think this is it's a very big buff. I wonder if they even intended it to be as much as it is.
If there's something I can add here to this, something that you didn't mention that's very relevant to the discussion with this is plasma gunners now. Because plasma gunners being shotgunners means they're always slowly getting closer to you, and the flame staff. Because the flame staff automatically instantly suppresses everything with one M1 puff.
Yeah, that's right. Flame staff. This
is just straight up 20% damage for your flame staff Psyker. And it's and then because he suppresses them with one M1, okay, well now the Flamer Zealot, their dot's 20% boost. The Psyker, their dot's 20% boost. Veteran, they're 20% boost.
Yeah, and it's just all damage too. It's not like melee damage, it's not range damage. If it was just range damage, you would think it would be on the range side, it would be different. But it's just all damage to the target, which is very nice. Okay, so yeah, I agree. What about 5% crit for everybody for Psyker?
I think this would be to the high end of standard.
Me too. Yeah. 5% crit is getting value in the current meta. It's available too. It's not, now that the new Psyker tree is free to choose, it's not on the bad side of the tree anymore. 5% crit does a lot for a lot of weapons. I would not be upset to have this.
So the thing about this is 5% crit is equal to a tier 4 perk on your weapon.
That's right.
So if we were to compare this to the elite damage, which is not even a tier 1 perk for the same exact effect, we've already gone up 3 tiers in terms of perk value to be the closest equivalent.
And it's not even you don't even need to consider damage for this, because there are so many knock-on effects for crits across classes and across blessings that you need to get a crit to get value out of it. And so if you don't get the crit, it's shitty. But for a veteran, if you got a veteran on your team who's running Shock Trooper, this is 5% ammo for them as well. And of course extra damage, and of course extra burn stacks if they're on recon. So yeah, this has tons of effects. Stacks faster for Zealot, stacks bleeds for Zealot. There's veteran loves it now because of exposed weakness. Critting gives you 20% damage for 6 seconds. So yeah, big stuff comes out of critting, and it's not bad at all. Okay, we agree there, and then we'll go to, what is this one called? This is an RBD's thing. This is called Breaking Descent. Oh, well, we know where this is going to go. You and allies in coherency deal an additional 10% damage versus staggered. I'm going to go ahead and put this up here.
Yeah,
it's somewhere up here. It's very solid. I don't know if any aura is. Well, no, there's one aura that goes up here at least.
Yes, yeah. So the thing about this is the same. This is basically the same effect as the Ogrren 10% thing, because with an RBDs, everything is staggered all the time, and this is constantly going to be active.
Yeah. And you don't have to, like, enemies can be staggered with ranged attacks as well. So this is more damage for your flame staff. So that's great.
Exactly, yeah.
It needed it, guys.
It's just, this is just another one of those auras where you don't care if there's 2 of these on the team, because if there's ever a time when you're not under this aura's effect, you're like, kind of wish I was. And if every aura, let's put it this way, if every aura just gave you 10% damage and you just got 40% damage for staying near your team, I don't think things like Loner would have ever even been a problem in the first place.
Right. Yeah, because people would have been so incentivized to stay with their team. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we've got Loner. So Loner is gone.
Loner.
So we'll talk about
Loner.
So Loner's dead. So we'll talk about the replacement, which is called
Brave.
Zealous. Zealous is minus 15% stamina cost for you and allies in coherency. So what do you think about that? Minus 15% stamina cost for you and allies in coherency.
I think that as stamina becomes less important as we get stronger, I think if this existed before, it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a lot better in the past. I think now it's kind of still not that great.
Yeah.
It's just not, like, 15% is just not enough.
It'll be good for speedrunning. Like, that's about it. Like, just running the map.
Yeah, just for, like, better sprinting.
This is something I was talking about when I just recorded a veteran meta video, and I put up 3 toughness on there, and I was like, why don't we take stamina anymore? It's like, okay, well, I mean, what are you doing with stamina these days? The current meta of the game is you stand your ground and you murder everything that comes up to you, and you stagger it and you stop it from hitting you, or you dodge it and that's it. There's no enemies left in the game that are actually making it to you that you're like shoving or blocking. You're not blocking crushers, you're not blocking chaos spawns or whatever, right? You're staggering them and you're bombing them and you're blowing them up with a million billion damage, and that is not stamina dependent. So the stuff you were doing with stamina before is like kind of out the window, and it can't protect you like it used to be able to. Like a skilled player used to be able to use stamina to like avoid literally all damage and just sprint around the arena and stuff, but now it's like, okay, you can just face down like 95% of threats, and the 5% you can't. Stamina's not going to save you there. Like, you're not going to be able to block the amount of bullshit the game is throwing at you. So it's better just to have like, just more defenses against gunners or whatever is going to murder you today. So that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, 15% stamina, it's not so good, especially in comparison to the other options on the tree here for Zealot, because Zealot has one very good option, one option that's going to be better when, like, for certain Havoc mutators. We got 2 more Arbites auras here. This one is 12.5% reload speed. I would say this is niche or not so good. I don't really understand. I don't know. Like, there's classes in the game that don't even reload. There's classes that reload so fast that they wouldn't even feel this. I just don't know why you'd pick this.
Every weapon that has a noticeably long reload has a reload tech where you can make it faster. Flamer on Zealot and or Bolter, throwing knife. Plasma gun or Bolter on Veteran, sprint cancel. Every single weapon that you'd reasonably want a big reload speed boost on, other than like the revolver, is already having ways to boost its reload speed. And if you care about reload speed, say you're a veteran playing with the revolver and you really want reload speed,
fucking talent,
you can already get 30% of it. Yeah, you can already get 30% of it from the top of your tree.
This one I feel like just does not fit with the theme or like the Arbites thing, and it really confused me when I saw it. I think it's supposed to be for people who are like reloading the shotgun constantly, pumping shells out, but that just is like not how the class ends up being played in functionality.
It's for the middle keystone.
Yeah,
that's what it's for.
Which is filler, which we'll get to, because I hate that keystone.
Yeah.
It's such a shit keystone. Anyway, we've also got Weapon Specialist Cursed Edition. We've also got this one with the pack. It's 7.5% toughness damage reduction, and it grants you the dog counts as part of your coherency. So you are always in coherency when you have your dog, and then it counts as 5 coherency. It can actually count as 8 coherency if you have 4 RBDs on the team, which is pretty funny. And we know you love coherency, Regen, so.
I think, well, actually, like,
I think shitty.
The thing with coherency, Regen, is, ironically enough, the Arburator could be the best at abusing it because of the shock canceling out their melee slots. Because like if something is shock mind or shocked by the dog or whatever,
you can get
it's just
away.
it's not taking up a melee slot. So like you can actually be hitting things and getting coherency regen.
True.
Finally, we did it. Toughness, coherency, regen has a purpose.
Balance is
It
returned
only
to the
took
game, guys.
yeah, we did it. We saved Darktide. But like 7.5% toughness damage reduction is not bad. Like if this node was on the right side, you wouldn't roll your eyes at taking it. The problem really does come down to you are never not playing right side RBDs at this part of the tree, because that means not taking concussive. And I mean, just make concussive a passive, please.
Yeah, so like the way I build RBDs, even when I'm going dog, I go here, I take Voltaic, Canine Morale, and Imposing Force because these are like crazy good skills. But I come over here and I take this. I go this way anyway.
Yeah.
You go concussive, suppression protocols, and then you grab this. So I'm still just going over here. So I never take this, and I would never ever take this one. Like because there's no pathing as it currently stands where you would end up here, like only able to take this really. I think I have like one build I ever made where I was forced to take this one for points wise, but you know, it's just not really in the cards. So yeah, I think. What do you think? Standard? 7.5% toughness. Yeah. It feels very standard to me.
This feels like loner done right, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, but like Arbides is like kind of the class that doesn't even care about loner because he can just replenish stamina by standing around. Like literally, all you have to do is sprint and you get 5% of your toughness per second. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah, he doesn't really even need the replenishment, but hey, it's something, and I like the flavor. Like that's a cool idea. Then we've got the Beacon of Purity, which is Zealot's 1.5 corruption per second removal from your bar up to the nearest wound. I think that this, especially if as they continue to add more effects and stuff in the game, and this is something that I'm going to make a point of it right now. I called it way back in the day. But when Havoc was announced but not yet released yet, I said, this is going to be good because they don't have any corruption effects in the game. I bet they fuck us with some corruption effects in that. And what do you know, like getting meleeed by stuff in Havoc corrupts you, you know, bursters and stuff corrupt you, Nurgle, Slime, like being able to play offensively into these corrupting effects like Pox Gas and stuff and not worry about it is quite nice. And this keeps it from building up and eating your health bar. And of course, when you've got like green stuff on the ground. So I think it's solid, but I could understand an argument for standard. It's solid niche sort of, but I really do feel the effect when I have it on the team. It's like it's weird. It's like when it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
When you have a game, yeah. But I wouldn't say it's not so good either. So it's right here.
Yeah. See, so that's the thing. It's literally the definition of niche, but the niche is so strong and so in front and center right now that power level wise, it would totally be solid. It would totally be in like the A tier.
Yeah,
but like
so up here, it's probably like one of the best in standard. The importance of this effect. I mean, look at the veterans field supplies talent or whatever it's called. Field improv. You know, one of the biggest parts of this, obviously you get the grenades back from the med box, but the ability to cleanse corruption is really, really big. And whenever you have a veteran, you're praying they have this, right? But having this, like, it does, you don't notice it when it's on the team, but you notice it when it's not. And your health bars are slowly filling up with corruption. And, like, people are like, oh, it only removes, like, 1.5 per second. You'll still lose the health. But it removes it as you get it. And since most corruption effects are very slow over time, they trickle in, it removes it, like, as you're standing in the ooze, it's ticking it down. And so it keeps it from eating your health. So yeah, I would say it's at the upper end of standard just because like, yeah, you'll find those games where it's like, oh, someone please put this on. But other games and it's also in a good spot right now. Because I think that like the way the Zealot is built is like going down this middle path right here ends up being a very, very strong path. And then you can just branch out one and one on the sides and then go straight down the middle. Obviously you have a choice of any three, but yeah, so that's good. We've got next 10% cooldown for the Psyker. I think this is probably a good candidate for maybe our first class defining or game defining, but it's at the very upper end of really solid for me. With how they hurt cooldown reduction.
cooldown reduction has never been more important. Enemies have never been tankier. You have never needed to CC them harder and or just nuke them
You
with
must
damage.
spam.
Yeah, and cooldown reduction has never been stingier. The fact that this is the equivalent of 4 tier 4 curio powers and like desirable curio effects. So
3
this
tier 4.
is this yeah, well, it's almost. It's like 2 tier 4 and like a tier 2. So it's like it's like 10 tiers worth of curio effects basically.
Yeah, because it multiplies across the entire team, right? And so
so it's 10. This would be the equivalent of having an extra curio that's like nothing but cooldown reduction given to every single player. And it's one of those death by 1,000 cuts things. If it takes, because especially now with like Nurgle's, I remember watching you doing Havoc the other night and how it would be like a 50-minute run with like rotten armor and stuff. And it's like, yeah, so now if it's a 50-minute run and you're going to shout, say 100 times, maybe even 150. Well, now it's like, now we're getting like 15, 20 plus ultimates per person just for this one aura. And, 15 ults per person across like,
especially now that you actually have to work for your cooldown on these classes. Like before when it was Zealot and it was like, okay, crit one time and you get 12 seconds of cooldown back in 4 seconds. You're like, I don't fucking care about like 3 seconds on my ultimate, right? That's piddlywinks. But now you only get maximal 3 seconds every 3 seconds. So having a free 3 seconds is a big deal. Like on a 30-second cooldown, and then when you go to those minute-long cooldowns, that's 5 seconds off of your taunt for your Ogrren. That's 6 seconds off of your chorus. Like it gets more value on those longer cooldowns because those having those up at the right time ends up being a big deal, and everybody can feel it. It's very noticeable, just across the board. And the Psyker is like the one guy who made out in terms of the cooldown reduction nerfs. Like he's doing great. Like he can just spam the hell out of bubbles. Dude. Like what the fuck? So somehow we decided that was balanced.
One thing to consider is Castigator stance. Castigator stance being a 45-second cooldown, it makes out like a fucking bandit.
Yeah, because it's a 20-second duration or whatever the fuck it is, or 10-second. I don't know.
Well, no. It's 10. Think about this. It's 10-second duration, and if you take the left side keystone, you have basically just consistently half its cooldown because of that 50%.
It would be a 30-second cooldown. Yeah, so you would lose if you had full cooldown reduction curios.
And then. Yeah, full cooldown reduction plus that 20. Plus Seer's presence. You're talking like 20 something seconds, 20 low number seconds.
Let's do the math here. We would have this cooldown be 22% lower, so it would be like 9 seconds lower than the base cooldown of 45. So we'd be sitting at like 35, 36 seconds, and then we would have execution order cutting that by 2/3. So you're looking at a 24-second cooldown on a 10-second ability that's like just invincibility. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty easy to keep full uptime on it. So yeah, this is like one of the strongest like non-survivalist nodes up here. I would also say that this Zealot 15% benediction is really solid, though on the like kind of the lower end. Toughness damage reduction has gotten a little bit less valuable because every class seems to be absolutely caked in the stuff these days. Even Psyker is getting some of the love, but 15% is still 15%. And this is definitely better than the Ogrren's 15% replenishment, because this stops you from losing the toughness, and that's a bigger deal than replenishing it. Because when you lose the toughness, the gap between when you lose the toughness and when you gain the toughness back, that's when you take the damage, right? So when you lose less, then you lose less to the subsequent attack. So this is always stronger than replenishment effects. So if you've ever been a player who's like an Ogrren and you're like, oh my god, this node right here has got a huge buff with too stubborn to die. Now you can replenish double when you're low 50. Well, first of all, you have to be missing toughness to replenish toughness. And what about just not missing toughness and having like delight and destruction instead and just keeping it at 100%?
Yeah. That's like exactly the way to view it, honestly. And I would really say, with the way the tier list is laid out, I wouldn't put it because of the obvious implications of tier lists. This is more of a class defining aura, more so because toughness damage reduction is Zealot's entire class identity. That's like his main thing. Whereas like all these other auras so far, I think every character has a class defining aura. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the strongest aura.
Well, I don't want to phrase like that. I mean, I want it to be like
exactly
the strongest.
Yeah, no,
class, game or class's strongest.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, because like sometimes they try to define something.
Yeah, no, I mean like
defining something that's
I want it to be the thing that like 99% of the time you're taking on the class unless you're doing some sort of niche build. If there's like one like absolute lock-in, no questions, like, okay, what are you running? You're running Zealot. Okay, what are you running? You're running, well, it's more like that for Ogrren these days, where it's like, what are you running, Ogrren? Okay, so you're bringing taunt, huh? Like, yeah. So I would say it's probably not up there in that sense, unless we want to redefine it. Yeah, unless we want to redefine it and say that like the strongest thing for each class goes up here, but I would rather just make this exceptional for
I think
the really high performance, which would be, I think,
oh baby,
Survivalist.
I've been waiting to talk about this one. I love Survivalist. I love Ranger Veteran. All right, Cousin Ogrren reincarnated. Cousin Ogrren sacrificed himself in Helmsworth or whatever, Helmguard, just so we could get Survivalist. All right,
Survivalist has been nerfed 3 times, and it's still like the best aura in the game too.
Yeah, Survivalist is not healthy for the game from a game design standpoint, but this aura is so goddamn overpowered. Yeah. I love it. I love everything about it. I actually like it more with the cooldown, because instead of being the equivalent, we were mathing this out. We were doing a little Darktide University on my stream like a while ago, and we were trying to math this out. We came down to the conclusion that Survivalist before the nerf was the equivalent of, I'm not joking, 4 red ammo bags for every person on the team.
Well, you do it. You do it on Havoc 40. This is pre the Havoc buff, where like they brought back some of the ammo when you got 25% ammo. I did the math, and this was 14 ammo crates worth across a 40-minute game if you were killing at the maximal speed.
Yeah,
and like
it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, because like it's the fact that the effect is not reduced by Havoc's ammo reduction, it makes it absolutely 100% essential. And even on like non-Havoc difficulties, you'll notice the difference. You can, especially if you have numeric UI, that's when you'll really notice the difference, because you can keep an eye on your allies' ammo counts, and like you just won't have ammo issues at all for an entire game when you're running this. But if you take it off, people will start asking for ammo. It's like it does sustain over time, because most players are not just constantly shooting, they're like getting ammo. And so if you're playing a Zealot with a flamer, you can use a whole tank of gas, put it away, do a 3-minute fight, and you'll have earned back pretty much the whole tank of gas, which just keeps you set. So it like reduces that resource pressure on everybody across the team evenly, and that means that you, as the veteran, the guy who's actually shooting a lot of ammo, is free to just take as much as you want, more or less, which is amazing.
I completely agree with all that. Survivalist is insane. It is the aura that defines Darktide, if you ask me. I think Survivalist really does just like,
sorry, phone call.
define everything. I was wondering. I was like,
yeah,
don't tell. I was very confused.
Tanner, you'll have to talk on the stream and keep everyone entertained. I don't know if you could do it. I don't know if you could talk about the one time Tanner like jams up and can't come up with a tangent to go on for 10 minutes.
Well, right I didn't know. You know, it's your show here. You know, we're on your show right now. I'm trying to be courteous. I don't think you want me to go off about how, you know.
Go off about this 5% movement speed. I don't know if this is a rework, please. Do you think it's reworked here?
Please. No, this
probably.
Yes, absolutely. Mystery, dude. This is like that Woody meme where he's like, hold up. This thing sucks. This thing is Loner 2.0. Think about this from a logic perspective. 5% move speed is amazing. It's one of the best effects in the entire game. 5% move speed is the difference between the dueling sword and a neutral movement speed weapon. That 5% move speed is single-handedly enough in the hands of like a top player to basically make you never get hit by anything. Why is this not healthy? Well, if you're under the effect of this aura, you basically have dueling sword movement all the time. But right above this, and this is not necessarily true anymore,
Now it's
this used to be a bigger problem before. Yeah, this used to be a bigger problem before. You could get extra movement speed going into this, which meant you were faster than everyone else, even under this effect.
Well, now you just take up here underneath the smoke grenade. Yeah. Which is plenty fine.
It's much rarer to get it this way, but like that still exists, and it's still a problem where the veteran can be moving faster than like most other classes, which is weird to say, but if you've ever seen speed runs, there's some people that prefer to do it on veteran, especially with infiltrate for that like juicy 33% move or 35% move speed or whatever. And the problem is when you are outside of the aura effect of this, that veteran has dueling sword movement on like every weapon, but you don't.
So
if he's like using a combat, if he's using a combat knife, you just, and the thing is, in an actual fight, the problem with this aura is for regular players, 99% of the time it doesn't matter. Because if you're just slow fighting crushers in a choke point in Havoc, when do you care about 5% move speed? If you
that's sort of what I wanted to like give my like. I understand that this has the potential to be abused in a really toxic way that's not healthy for the game. Like I think probably one of the biggest failings of Darktide and the combat in Darktide is how fucking fast everybody is. The ability just to run away from an engagement infinitely is what separates Darktide's combat from Vermintide's combat, where it's stand your ground and fight these fucking storm vermin. If you don't, they will run you down and murder you, right? So you had to actually like fight the fight. And get to a good spot and fight. This is like just retreat forever, just run away, like nothing can catch us. And so it has that toxic element to it, but it also just like for many players that don't fundamentally understand that, it literally has zero effect. It's just the effect of, oh, we can get to the next like thing faster. So it's like uninteresting for the vast majority of players. It's really uninteresting and offers them nothing in a very similar way to like the fire team thing we're about to talk about. But for the players at the upper end, it's like
game break. It's literally
it adds into the part of the game where like it really shouldn't exist, where you can just like infinitely draw out fights by never getting touched by anything, and it makes it really lame.
Especially if you are using this with like the knife, you could already get up to, on the speedometer mod, you could get up to a consistent 11 move speed with it. Without this, with the knife, you can get up to like 12.5 with this and the knife. And like, dude, even people like thrust sliding with the dueling sword, they're only getting up to 9. So it's like, brother, you're like blazing past these people. Because once you start doing movement tech on top of this, that just further compounds the problem. Because now your movement speed is getting to levels that Fat Shark probably wasn't expecting you to get to in the first place. And then you're amplifying that.
I don't think they anticipated movement speed being a thing at all, considering like how many weapons can just like flick and move like, 4 movement speed per second faster. It's kind of nuts, but
it's quite nutty. Yeah,
it's just hard to design a game where like your counter to the fight isn't like fight the fight, it's just run away from the fight. And I just don't think that this has like dual problems, as I said. But so rework, I don't exactly know what it would become instead. It could be something entirely different. It doesn't matter. I just don't think it fits with the class, and I don't think it's healthy in or exciting in any regard. Heavy hitter, they're not heavy hitter. What is this called? Bonebreaker. Bonebreaker's aura. It's 10% melee damage for the entire team. I think this is really solid, but it might be, it's on the lower end of really solid.
No, it's really solid.
But the only thing that like, and I talked about this in the last tier list if you guys watched that, but the only thing that's making it less solid these days is because there's so much fucking stacked damage on every class now. So 10% melee damage is like, it's like RBD's losing 5% off of a node. Okay, that's 5% of a 90% increase. That's like nothing, right? It's 10% when you're already gaining 60% on the veteran for melee damage these days, when the veteran has a minor node that's 15% melee damage. So yeah, but it's still really good. Like, and you will feel the difference because like melee is generally how you fight bosses. So you'll just chunk the bosses that much faster and get that much more DPS done. But it's definitely Ogrren's best. Well, I don't know if it's his best aura. Both of these are very solid in different routes, and like they are kind of mutually exclusive, right? You can't.
I think build around both of the time. Most of the time, Bonebreakers is definitely better than the gun one for a very simple reason. At the higher end, like Havoc and stuff, that stupid goddamn regeneration effect. if you have to fight like a 7,000 health crusher that can regenerate, if you weren't killing that thing in like
objectively
a second,
an infinite health crusher.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, think about that. The dueling sword can get like 6,500 DPS pretty easily, but can it get 8,000 DPS? Maybe 9,000 if it gets like a tick of regeneration. Does it like, you know? So anything that pushes you further towards that goal to just
one shot something or
get on, is going to be super valuable. And that's exactly what this is. You know, like think about what makes the Arburator so overpowered. The fact that every freaking skill point he invests is
His name is RBB, okay? It's RBB.
Okay, all right, man. The Arbubu is like everything he invests a point into gives him like 15% damage. So, you know, if you just keep stacking 10,
they nerfed 1 to 10% damage, okay? They nerfed one of them by 5%.
True.
It's not true anymore.
But yeah, you just keep enough of these effects, and oh my god, you're like, you know, everyone's an Arburator all of a sudden.
All right, so I mean, I'm gonna hold you to that. You said that anything that pushes you towards those breakpoints is useful, is good. And that's why 5% damage to the whole team. Okay.
No, Mystery, shut up. Shush, Mystery. Do not put these words in my mouth. Be quiet. Don't touch me. Listen. All right, go over to this aura in the class overview. I want to put something out.
Here it is.
Okay, so this 5% damage. Let me ask you a question, and every member of both of our audiences a question. When in the damage, because this is going to change everything about this. When in the damage formula does this apply? Does anyone know? Does this apply before or after all of your damage buffs from the skill tree? Because that is a very different 5%. 5% of a number that's been boosted by 100% is a much different number than a 5% number before you boost it by 100%.
This is I don't know if do you know this or you're just asking? See if anyone knows.
I do know this. I know this.
I think it's additive. I think it's just additive, not multiple. So it's the worst version, meaning it falls in with the pool with everything else. I've tested it before.
No, actually, it does not fall into the pool of everything else. This is base damage, which means your initial hit gets this, then gets everything else. After calculations,
so it's better?
This is actually closer. No, this is actually worse. This is most often like a real increase of like 3%. Because instead of like, let's say you get, you know, if it was additive with just the big pool, it would be slightly better. But this is even slightly worse than it applies to, because like, you have the attack that gets this nothing burger of an improvement instead of just lumping it in with the rest of the improvements and or applying it after the rest of the improvement. Someone pointed this out to me, that some people pointed this out to me, and then I went to try it and I was like, huh, that is a little strange that it's like slightly less than what consistently 5% would be. And they were explaining to me that's why like the formula with aura damage is a little weird for this one. Veteran auras in general are just bad because like most classes have gotten some touch up, or veteran auras have not been touched up at all apart from Survivalist. They're like still the exact same they have been at launched, weird formulas and bugs included. So this aura is actually slightly worse than it gives off. And even if it was just 5% damage, who gives a fuck? Because 5% is the smallest possible buff a thing could be. That's like less than a half of a tier 1 talent. Like, come on, dude.
I hate this talent.
Because it's such a small number, it doesn't matter. But hey, this is the kind of stuff we get up to here at like you know,
that's really good. I don't know why it is click DaVinci. That's just okay, great. All right, so this needs to be reworked. It's just the most boring aura ever, first of all. So that's number 1 on the list. It's so boring. It's uninspired. It doesn't do anything. And you're fucking your team over by not taking Survivalist. Thank you. I love the comments that I haven't had one in a long time, but I used to get them all the time, because I swear there was probably some other Darktide creator at some point in existence that said this is really good. And they were like, well, if you've got 5% for every person on your team, that's 20% extra damage. And I like facepalm so hard, my head is like slightly flattened from that. That's not how fucking damage calculations works. I was like, dude, okay, you're like DPSing a boss down. I pop Bloodlust, and like, does that mean that everybody gets 30% attack speed? So my 20-man raid now has 600% damage. The boss dies in 1/6 of the time. Yeah, that math's out, guys. Definitely makes sense to me. All right, okay, so that's fun. Let's go and talk about blitzes now. And
Oh, I love
blitzes are way different than they were before, especially before this update. And so, yeah, I want to hear, Tanner, I want to hear your thoughts on some of these RBD blitzes, starting with the dog. How strong do you think Dog Explosion is? Have you played with it?
I've played with it a little bit, and I think everything people say about it is generally right. I think I didn't get to play with it before the nerf,
Mhm.
and I have a very weird perspective on this stuff because I'm coming in after all the balance changes.
Sure.
So I have the knowledge of before all of the other classes got buffed and after the Arbiter got nerfed.
Right. Yeah.
Like, to me, I don't think this is as strong as a frag grenade.
I mean,
I
you're
wouldn't
you're
put it.
coming at
I
it then
would.
from a very pure standpoint, right? You're not bringing in any of that outside stuff. This is how it is now. The Arbiter has been nerfed to the ground, guys. He's the weakest class in the game, very obviously. Don't nerf him anymore. And yeah, so it's worse than a frag grenade, worse than an RBD's grenade, you mean? Or I mean a shredder grenade.
Yeah. No, it's worse than a shredder. It's definitely worse than a shredder. Right?
Okay.
And I just think, but that's not saying much given, shredders.
Yeah.
I really think the only grenade in RBDs that, like, after this supposed nerf I keep hearing about, like, I still think the dog thing is really strong.
Yeah, I would say
it's hard to evaluate. Yeah.
I say
like,
it's here,
I would put it like
personally.
that's about where I would put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the fact that it's a charge ability, the fact that it has a 50-second regeneration, those are points in its effect, like positive. The fact that it knocks back bosses and has a pretty big radius on it is a positive. The nerf definitely hurt it for reasons I've addressed previously, but I mean, think about like how much the buff from 2 charges to 3 charges helped the Krak grenade. Now think about the inverse, right? So you can't recuperate that 3rd charge when you're already, when you're maxed out, right? So you have to have already used a charge to be getting any back, which really sucks. And you can't CC bosses, like chain CC bosses with that anymore. But it's still really solid, and it can buy you a lot of space. And the RBD's already, like, the second the RBD's isn't like completely surrounded, he is on a very, very solid footing, right? He needs to be completely surrounded and just gangbang from all sides in order to kill this guy. If you can keep him un-CC'd and keep him free using the dog, then I think he's in a good shape. Now, it is kind of a finicky ability. I would rank it at the lower end of really solid just because it's so annoying to get it in the right place to use it.
Yeah.
But
that's kind
it's
of what
free.
I noticed about this.
It's free, and you do get to use the dog. So if like you're going dog talents, it's still good.
It's not like, I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's a little too, like, I think this game is just a little too jank for this kind of thing. I'm happy they approached the idea of like a pet class. But
honestly,
it's really
pretty well executed for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a fucking original Sienna necromancer, summon the spooky skeletons, and they go run off. They go run off the like behind you, and you're like, bro, the Chaos Warrior is that away.
Yeah, what I would really like, that's a good comment by Bad Cat. What I really like is if this had a detonation reticle and you could paint it as a spot the dog would run to and explode. And in fact, when they announced the class, or when they teased the class, I made a prediction video and I predicted that would be one of the blitzes, is having the dog like go to a place and like do a shock blast or do like some sort of attack or something. And unfortunately they stuck it to like he explodes wherever he's at, and oftentimes you're like, I don't know where the fuck you're at, because he's just doing his own thing, and that kind of sucks. But I still think it's reasonably strong. Not compared to the shock mine though, which I think is probably in the running for one of the most broken things in the game.
I have been mulling it over in my head. Are these better than shredders? And it is such a tough question. It's such a tough question.
No, these are better.
because shredders actually kill things. These shredders' primary purpose is to kill things.
No,
all
they're
of the
not. His primary purpose is to stagger everything, and then everything dies from everything else.
No, the stagger is the bonus. You can kill a pack of crushers with just 3 shredders. It's entirely possible. It's like, even with the new 6,500 health pools, they can still drop like 20 crushers in one rip. So
I just think this to move away from don't spoil the crusher or the shredder talk. That people have to pay for that. It's behind the paywall. This mine is pretty much being taken with Douglas. So when you're getting a maximum 3 stacks and you're getting 1 every single, wait, no, it's not a minute now. Did they increase that? Hold on. Did they nerf that?
Lone Wolf is still like,
No, it's still every 60 seconds. I thought that they... Oh, maybe this was in, like, some proposed changes I saw or something. But yeah, every 60 seconds is crazy.
I think the shock mine is... I mean, the fact that I'm even, like, trying to maybe seem like shredders are super competitive with this, I mean, that already says how good it is.
Yeah.
The fact that I think, like, the strongest grenade that's ever been in a Tide game is perhaps weaker than this should probably say that this is definitely in the running for the new best grenade in any Tide game.
And you have to consider that the shredder is in part as strong as it is because it's tied to a class that can just poop these fucking things out like crazy. This class only gets one of these every minute, and it still is as strong as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you say only one of them every minute, my brain is screaming, what do you mean only one? Like, if you got one of these every 3 minutes, it would be crazy. Because it just solves an encounter for you, which is like what the game comes down to.
It really does.
The game pulls out all stops to fuck you like 1 or 2 times a game, and if you can stop it in its tracks when it does that, then you win. And this is how you do that. You just toss one of these down and immediately remove everything that's actually going to be scary. Because it's never the bosses that are scary. And in fact, like, bosses screw themselves over by not getting stunned by this. If bosses got stunned by this, it would be worse. Because what you do is like, okay, Rinda and the twins spawn in on Havoc. You throw one of these down, you run through the choke point. Everything else gets stuck at the choke point. The twins are now isolated, and you just beat them to death. Because on their own, they're no problem. It's when they're surrounded by a bunch of bullshit and like healing crushers and stuff. This just like pause. You remember like how oppressive like core Zealot was. Just pause. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been calling it the pause button.
All you guys are in the fucking corner. Yeah. And shock mines are good even when you're running dog. Yeah, because I mean it's a great use of a pack of grenades because it is. I mean, 2 of these is better than 3 shredders. I think it's just that the fact you can regenerate so many more shredders, like you're gonna shoot like 60 plus per game is what makes shredders so good. If you're deciding who gets to pick up the pack of grenades and you have both of your people, right? Pound for pound, these are crazy. So
all right, you're right. Pound for pound, listen, man. All right, shredders are my goddamn Mike Tyson, and this is the Jake Paul. All right, I got him for my boy. Okay.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's discuss some of the newcomers in the block. We got the Stunstorm grenade. How do you feel about Stunstorm? I think this is a solid grenade.
I would actually put this up,
like. Up here? Or like
no,
here?
I meant like further up solid.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to rank it like that. I just think it's solid though.
Oh,
I don't want people to like have to minutia there.
All right, I got you. Stunstorms have always been incredibly strong, and this is something that in every list video I've ever made, I've always said: if Stunstorms were freed from the shackles of abysmal dog shit 3 talents stacked,
literally in talent prison, they were in the shittiest place in any tree. They are they're this light. They're shock mine light, right? Like they are
exactly. They were shock mines before shock mines.
Yeah. That was something when again, like Jeff and Joe and I did a video trying to like anticipate what was going on. I had a big list of things and I guessed shock mines based on a suggestion from Jeff. He's like, okay, so they have these sort of things that are called like electro web grenades, and you can like paint. I was like, oh, they need like consistent area denial that you can like stop doors, like the hedge on Sister of the Thorn in Vermintide. I was like, they need something like that, and they brought this in. This is what that used to be, but like that consistent effect is really cool to see. I was like, I don't know if they'll do that because they already got these, but they made it different enough, and like these are still really good. And it's just like this again, Darktide has this way of putting you in a situation where it's a combat puzzle, right? And this is I just get it. I get to solve this combat puzzle, right? I get to get the ally up, and I get to get this guy out of a trapper net or whatever it is, and punish the enemies for being overextended in this area. Like that's the use of it. The downside is that this is a class that can't regenerate grenades, and grenades are at a premium, but because like grenades are so good right now.
I agree with all of this.
But this is probably the most, I don't know, like all of these are viable. Let's talk about the flame grenade. Is this viable in Havoc?
Right.
I think it's, I mean,
of course this is viable in Havoc.
Uncanny Strike exists.
Yeah, you already know where I'm going to take this. Listen.
Fucking Uncanny Strike.
This is another grenade that was stuck in prison for so long. They locked him up for the crimes he would have committed.
Help.
They preemptively locked his ass up, dude. So with Uncanny Strike, this is, you drop it, you stack up Uncanny, and that choke point is just dead. So it's very similar in that regard to, it's kind of like if Shredder didn't do any CC, but just constantly kept applying bleed in an area. It's literally just that.
Yeah.
And that's a really strong effect.
The funny thing that I always comment when I talk about this grenade is that this grenade is for like noobs. And it's for people who are really experienced, because like if you know what you're doing, you can kite a whole fucking map worth of enemies and put them in a choke point and stop them there and then make them stand in this shit and they'll die. Like they will seriously die because it lasts a long time. It does a lot of damage when it's had the armor rending applied to it. But like when you're a crappy player and you can't stop getting surrounded, this is also like you're get out of jail free because you drop one of these and it just kills the entire horde for you. And you're like, phew, I gotta go pick up the power cell. Vacuum capsule, whatever. So yeah, like it's just a very useful grenade. It does require running Uncanny Strike, but I mean, geez, twist my arm. God.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have to run Dueling Sword or Knife on Zealot. Damn.
Speaking of something you have to run Uncanny Strike for,
the dagger.
I think the dagger exists. This pains me, okay? This is mystery. Listen, I need like some emotional support after saying this. I think it's just at the top of really solid.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I think in Havoc in particular, I think it gets worse in Havoc.
Oh, absolutely.
Because listen, this used to be the unequivocal king of Darktide.
Well, because it was the only one that was in the right fucking position to do anything on the Zealot, and
yeah, but it was also
like
just
broken.
kind of the strongest. Yeah, so like this enables Flamer, which.
And
okay,
Bolter.
You're always going to have a place if you do that, and Bolter because of the canceling. So this enables 2 of the best weapons in the game. Okay, that's strong. This doesn't take any grenade slots. This still one-shots like every goddamn thing under the sun that isn't a boss or crusher. So like it's still, this is literally the Kovacs item. If you are crazy at flicking in Kovacs, you are going to just like flick, knife, flick, knife, flick, knife, flick, knife, flick, knife, and you're just gonna kill everything. This weapon will this item will always be in the tier where if you're like on a controller, good luck.
Yeah,
if
no
you're
fucking
like
way. Controller, what is it's on like D-pad down on the controller or something.
Yeah, dude, listen, I know they've got it rough, but like if you're 5,000 hours into Kovacs, man, you're like just killing like 10 things every 5 seconds with these. It's like ridiculous. And they're always going to be hard to evaluate because of that. The
reason that they have, I mean, I don't know. I'm not ranking things by like within the tier, but like the reason that they are falling off where they're at, they still have their use for auto equipping Flamer. They also for Flamer they allow you to use the best Zealot secondary, and they don't gimp you in terms of eliminating long range threats. So like you can get rid of the trapper that's running towards you rather than like having to dodge him or like the sniper or whatever. So you can run this stupid close range OP weapon at the same time. But with how insane, it's the same thing that sort of affects like Executioner Stance or Marksman's Focus, which have gotten a big buff but are still struggling to be relevant.
Yeah,
the amount of insanity, the sheer amount of bullshit that is coming at you, you'll still find use for these. You'll still feel that like, oh dang, I wish I had one whenever there's a trapper running around and you want to knife them. But like it's in most situations, unless it's just isolated gunners or whatever, they're just not usable in Havoc anymore. Because it's so fucking bonkers.
I can speak for the entire community on this one. Throwing Knife is dead. Crab Rave. We can finally use a different fucking blitz. It's been like 2 years. Oh my god, I'm sick of using this goddamn thing.
It is very nice to have the options and like actually be able to make plays with these other two, because these are like playmaking grenades, right? Like you can make the call. This one is like more like I will make this clutch, and this one is like, guys, I've got this. I've got a plan. Hear me out. We're gonna stand in this corner and pray to God nothing ever heads us, and we're gonna burn it all to death. So.
Very healthy for the game. Very healthy.
Yeah,
for the game.
this is definitely like this sort of change, and I'm really glad they learned that from doing their first reworks. Is like opening these options up. I understand they were trying to force people to make certain decisions with classes with the original layout, and that's a challenge in its own for building classes. But having more options is also a challenge. Is also like a efficiency contest. So yeah.
The problem really came down to is there was no true option. There was a option that had multiple
they tried to make their the illusion of an option, and it's just unfortunate the trifecta stuff ended up there. Okay, so we got Kraks here. How are you feeling about Kraks these days? I think they are definitely really solid.
Don't spoil. Let's
let him build up. Okay, we'll edit that out.
Listen. Kraks, me and Kraks have a complicated history together. I am a D1 professional Krak hater. I, for the longest time, have had nothing nice to say about them. However, this patch has completely reversed my opinion of them. I legitimately think Kraks actually belong in that top tier now. I think Kraks in Havoc specifically.
Up here?
Yeah, no, I'm being serious.
Wow.
Because, listen, I cannot stress how important getting 3 of them is.
Yes, yeah.
When you, especially now that the Havoc, if they would have kept these at 2, I don't even want to envision my future if I had to be like, Kraks are still unusably bad with the new, the...
You wouldn't have started playing Darktide again if they hadn't fixed Kraks. It's probably the truth. This is the thing that brought Tanner back, guys, if you're wondering.
So the thing with Krak grenades is having 3 grenades means that Veteran can run both of his grenade regeneration talents and never have either one of them stepping. Yeah, never have either one stepping on the other one's toes. So now that these last longer, as well, the runs, and there's more armor in the runs, equivocally when you look at the health pools and the regeneration.
And
of the
there's
pools.
less things that can remove that armor efficiently, and these are one of the ones that are left that do it just boom, no questions asked. They have they also additionally straight buffs in addition to the number. They detonate much faster. They have a way shorter arming time once they're thrown. They also have greater magnetism, and they have a bigger explosion radius. I believe I didn't get to test that fully when it was still in. When I could actually access both versions, but the radius definitely seems bigger.
I will say one thing. If Havoc ever shifts again and regeneration goes away and armor spam gets reduced greatly, shredders go right back to
right. So this is the sort of thing that I was talking about Ogrrenheimer, Rumbler use, and the current iteration, every 3 weeks Havoc rotates in terms of the mutators, and so right now we have a particularly toxic set of mutators with rotten armor plus purple, and so you've got extra crusher spawns and purples around those crushers, so you have to kill them instantly. And this is one of the absolute best things at doing that with little effort, almost zero effort at all. Everybody else is fucking working for it. If it shifts away from that, especially if purple is removed, shredders get huge value because they get their damage done by tickling people down over time in a big radius. And it's the same thing that happens with the Rumbler. Is the Rumbler doesn't insta kill things; it staggers it long enough for it to die to the next 2 Rumbler shots. And
another thing that really helps Kraks a lot, the fact that you no longer have to take unnecessary tax nodes to take the grenade node.
Yeah, so having it all together. This alignment here, all 3 of these, or these 2, Grenadier and Grenade Sinker, affect the Krak more than the other 2 grenades, I believe. Because
Grenadier having that rolled. Grenadier having that rolled in effect. If you guys forget, Grenadier, this used to be 2 separate talents. You used to have to spend a talent point to take a node that you didn't care for, to then take a node that gave you +1 grenades.
Yeah, Big Dom saw this and he creamed himself, I'm certain, because this is crazy. This was Twinned Blast and Grenadier. That were 2 separate nodes. But this one, so Kraks with this, they actually split and they seek different targets. So I don't know how the game does it, but if one is latched on, it'll go past them and go to the next crusher, which is amazing. And if you proc it on a boss, it deletes them. So
and you consider that you can now run both the restore talents, so you can throw 40+ more Kraks than you used to get those in the first place. Oh my god.
It's actually crazy for grenade veterans right now, because you get field improv is so easy to get. These are free, and then you just grab your last one right here, and then you're done. You've got 5 points that are right in the main line. They literally take almost no investment at all to get, and then you get a ton of power. Like, Kraks are a huge, like, just being a grenade veteran has like literally is quite possibly like one of the stronger builds you could run in the meta. I think it's probably like definitely in competition with just running plasma gun. Is just blowing stuff up constantly, because you sustain crazy grenades with all these talents. And of course, if you have 4 pockets, if you have a 4 deep pocket, you have so much room to multiply these grenades every time they really pop off and blow stuff up. So yeah, Kraks are. So, I would agree. I really am loving where Kraks are at, and they definitely are a hard counter to everything that bullshit in the game currently. What about smokes though?
It's finally happened. Okay, so if you would have asked me this before they nerfed plasma gunners, I would say honestly, smokes probably belong up there too. But
were you surprised they nerfed plasma gunners as fast as they did?
No, not at all. No, dude. I don't know that. Okay, I only know of a person saying they're good.
No, but I mean, were you surprised they did it as fast as they did? Not that they nerfed them at all.
No, dude, no. This is about the minimum time a change like this could really.
It was literally the minimum time. They only patch on Tuesdays, so it was literally the minimum time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, I was expecting this to be no, dude, because it was usually if it makes the front page of Reddit and somebody uploads a video that gets 50,000 views just saying this one
probably did have some effect.
Usually Fat Shark. Well, no, because the way they look at that kind of thing is, okay, so we introduce this enemy and we do like you always expect people to complain. You always expect people to complain whenever something changes. But when it's front page of Reddit complaints, is that just Reddit being Reddit? Okay, then like your top YouTube guy makes a video saying this sucks, and that gets super positive.
And it's not controversial. Okay. The comments literally being like, yes, kid, go off. This, dude.
Yeah. And then like you have your entire streaming audience on Twitch, like all like just clipping moments where they like turn a corner and instantly die and they're getting frustrated and it makes the game look bad. That's the kind of thing that does get their attention. When they can't
frustrating. Like it makes people quit the game. Like that's why you quit the game.
Seriously, you open Reddit complaining about the new enemy. You watch the popular videos about your game that get released complaining about the new enemy. You watch the streamers play your game complaining about the new enemy. You look at your charts of like, is this enemy adding retention? And it's just way down. When every single thing is like, no, this is bad. Yeah, no, you will change that as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But I think smokes. So my thing with smokes is smokes have gone up and down so much. Smokes, when Havoc was brand new, were a viable option to really deal with gunners.
Yeah,
so here's
gunners
the thing
are the only
smokes,
threat.
right?
Yeah.
I wish smokes would get not necessarily a rework, but a once over, where they, one, clearly define what they actually do, and two, like, just make sure it works, and also make it work on like shotgunners and stuff. Because this was another thing with the plasma gunners as well. Even if you did take smokes, because they're shotgunners,
they'd migrate through them and just shoot you anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes they just don't care. So I really wish smokes would just be defined and consistent, and then I would say they're honestly pretty good. I think smokes are fine. I think they are fine. I don't think
they're niche or they're standard. They're not solid.
I think they're okay. So here's the thing with smokes. Standard. If you have no bubble, they're solid. If you have no bubble, they're definitely solid.
Yeah, but no one's running no bubble.
If you have bubble,
fucking crazy.
Yeah. If you have no bubble, they're just kind of standard.
Yeah.
So the biggest problem with smoke grenades is how the fuck are you gonna justify a smoke grenade when there's 20 crushers like.
Yeah, that becomes a problem. Right, and the other thing that really fucks smoke grenades. Well, first of all, it's just the phrase here is consistency. And I'm going to go back this in like 3 different ways. So first of all, what I want out of a smoke grenade rework is, or like something needs to happen to this grenade needs to have a consistent effect that you can depend on regardless of what situation. It needs to buff you and debuff like melee enemies or whatever. Because right now, if you run smoke grenades, if you're running your little stealth, veteran smoke grenade build, there's been runs where I've run these and I've been like, hell yes, I am helping the fucking team. Look at this. I just made all these fucking gunners give up their fucking position and move into melee, and now they're fucked. The smoke grenades won that encounter. The twins spawning on you, you drop a smoke grenade on them, it literally turns the AI of the ranged twin off. He just stands there like a dumbass. You feel amazing. But you roll into a map where the entire like the seed of the map is crushers. It's just crushers galore.
Yeah.
They literally do nothing. You're like, I'm negative a grenade now. I've invested in this thing that literally does nothing. So what they need to do is just have some consistent effect that is consistent in terms of like being applicable to many different types of enemies, because it can't just be this gunner only effect. Unless we can make it more consistent on the gunners, because the other thing, and I'll just wrap up out of this, the other thing that really frustrates me about these is the enemy AI is not predictable when you throw these on them. If they always had a similar behavior they engaged in, which is how you learn to combat enemies, right? When you see a gunner, you know what he's going to do. He's going to stand still or strafe very slowly, and he's going to shoot you. He's going to cower behind the box. You throw a smoke grenade at him, what do you think he's going to do? You don't know. He could run forward and start shooting again. He could back up and go to a different angle and shoot you. He could stay right there. Like, you just don't know what he's going to do. So, like, there needs to be some standardization with the enemy AI behavior, and there needs to be something that affects all enemy AI, because half of games, they're just useless. Anyway, go on.
I would also like to say that I really think they should just go and these the utility guys like best friend. Make it get rid of fire.
Yeah,
this is so long.
Suppression.
Make it get rid of
Suppress.
Make it get rid of toxic gas.
Suppress gas.
Honestly, I think they should. Yeah, if this suppressed gas got rid of fire and consistently blocked gunners, no exceptions, I think this would be really good.
Yeah,
like, I actually think it would be really, really good.
That's what I've been saying for a really long time about it. And it's a very obvious like thing to go to, is like have a suppressive, like sort of like blessed fume in it, where it maybe don't have it regenerate any sort of toughness or anything. Don't make it like a heal grenade for the team, but have it get rid of negative effects for the team.
You know something they could do that I just thought about? I literally just thought about this on the spot. If a gunner sees the smoke, they should just get suppressed.
That's true. Yeah,
that would fix all of the consistency problems, and that would add synergy to all the suppression stuff in the game, which is sorely lacking.
Yeah, that would be pretty good if they just like didn't take shots at the smoke, because currently as it stands, yeah, they'll just continue shooting, and like it may or may not help. And sometimes I feel like they're just shooting randomly into the smoke, and those like, I mean, that's what the twin does, is if you throw the smoke on him, he just stops shooting entirely. He doesn't even cast his special stuff.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So like that would be nice if you threw it on top of him. But like as it currently stands, you throw a grenade at some gunners, and sometimes they stand there and they just sit there, and then you're like, okay, nice, I eliminated those gunners effectively. And then other times they immediately pick up their shit and they move to a better position, and you're like, God damn it. Like, yeah. So yeah, standard. Just I mean, because they're like straddling that threshold between being niche and not so good, or having their like moments in the sun where they actually like kind of shine, just like this one. This is like the aura of this. Seriously. It's like when you need it, you're like, oh yes, this fucking paid off. But every other time when there's no green corruption on the map, you're like, well, I should have brought cracks. Sure, whatever. Okay, shredders.
All right.
Shredders. I mean,
this should be no surprise. I think shredders. This is the everything grenade. The fact that you do need a damage stim now, which is unfortunate, but you can kill effectively infinite number of stacked crushers with these is really valuable. The fact that they stagger everything every time they go off, even more valuable. The fact that you get 1 million of them, ultra valuable. And the fact that with Grenade Tinker and the Bolt Pistol, they cover basically the entire goddamn map, means you're literally just dropping a nuke every like 5-10 seconds.
And
I think like, shredders are...
They're like self-sustaining as well, like because they're one of the grenades that's the best at just cleaning up a ton of elites. So you'll throw one, you'll get 2 back. Like, it's just, yeah. Yeah,
seriously. And they also clear the horde super. So think about that. They clear like 90% of elites like it's nothing. They clear hordes instantly.
Don't forget they stagger
knock everything
too.
Over.
Big stagger, yeah.
I'm getting to. They knock everything over. So the things that they don't delete, they knock over. Like these grenades, they just do everything. They can stop bosses in their tracks. They can stop a pack of crushers in their packs. They can actually kill like all of that stuff except for bosses. It's just... They literally do everything. If they were on any other class, they would be kind of not that good.
Right. It's the fact that you can print infinite.
It's the spam.
Spam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the spam. If you couldn't spam them, it wouldn't be as good. But it's the fact that it's like, okay, do you need Smite right now? But the Psyker doesn't have Smite. Yeah. Just drop a shredder.
It's the same.
You need to clear the.
It's the same thing that makes Rumbler so good on Ogrren. It's like, okay, you know, if it was just a grenade, that'd be fine. But it's the fact you get 35 of them, and you can just keep shooting them at your feet, and everything is just on the ground. And then this adds bleeds to it, and of course, like just like synergizes with itself. There's a million ways to buff it up and buff the damage that they do. It's just a very general use grenade. Like, there's never really a bad situation to throw it. You got a boss, throw it. It'll stagger the boss. It'll put some bleeds on him. You got a big horde of like trash enemies, throw it. It'll kill all of them. You got like horde of metal, throw it. It'll stagger and kill some of them. It'll stagger the rest. The only thing that holds it back is purple, because purple is fucking accursed. And
purple is stupid though. Purple shouldn't be in the game.
Purple shouldn't be in the game. Yeah, don't worry guys. I got a video cooking on that because you all saw me fucking crash out the other night over purple like ruining my fucking life. And
regeneration should never. I think if they're gonna do regeneration,
it needs to be like way less. And like there needs to be gated like the bile troll. You remember how bile troll used to regenerate all of its toughness when you put it down?
There was
it just seems
there
like
was two things I was gonna compare it to. I was gonna compare it to one, the bile troll, but actually I think it should just work like the Dawn of War game. Such a shame Jefficus isn't here. He'd be like, oh. In Dawn of War games, there's like dedicated cultist guys, and their special ability is they just mark someone and just start generating them a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't see why there could not be something like that.
Just
like,
one
honestly,
enemy, like regenerate that one enemy every time.
Exactly.
And the other really big problem with purple. I love how we're like complaining about purple. What else did we complain about? Shot the las gunners or plasma gunners. Purple is fucking invisible, dude. It's so stupid. I have no idea how that visual, like, that has to be one of the easiest things to change. Change the visual effect, because it's inside of the enemy's head. If it was outside, if they had like, just give them a halo, give them like a little like an aura around their head, like with a distinct purple line, or a fucking beacon, a Borderlands style item beacon off the top of their head, so you can see where they are, depth and like, you know, XYZ axis in the horde. Right now it's impossible. You get a horde walking at you, God forbid it's a bulwark, because behind the shield doesn't glow, so it's behind them. Just give them the aura that when, because there's other effects in the game that are just like glowy effects, like you might not have seen it, but no, it was in Regional Havoc. The green, when they had the armor plating, the green armor, it just makes them glow very. Not rotten armor, but it's called, what's it called? I can't remember. Nurgle's Blessing. Yeah, but it makes their outline glow green. So make their outline glow purple and make them very visibly purple, because especially when you have Smite on them, it's literally impossible to tell which one has it.
I wouldn't even,
I was smiting everything, holding it for like 20, literally minutes at a time. My team was like, we just have to like kind of like walk through and feel our way around and hope we kill the one that's purple. Fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, fuck
and
purple.
And
everyone
like,
hates it.
This is something that goes into a lot of what I'm complaining about lately. It's like, okay, the limitations on what you can use in Havoc and be effective are already tight enough.
Very tight.
Now you have an effect that tightens it down to like literally like 2 options, because you have to kill these targets instantly, and you have to be able, or you have to be able to AoE everything so you can kill that target included with everything. So your choices are AoE nukes and pray to God you include the purple one in it, or instant kill on specific targets. So like Dueling Sword and Cracks, or Flamer, and that's it, Flamer. So anyway, Shredders are good, and purple fucks them, but what doesn't it fuck? Big Box of Hurt, the cluster bomb for the Ogrren.
I will be honest. This is my least area of expertise, especially after the rework.
I'll step in.
I will have to. I'm gonna have to defer to your expertise on this one.
I'm very tempted. I mean, it is not as good as Shock Mine. And it's not, you can't multiply it like these other grenades can. I'll put it, I don't know, it's definitely Ogrren's best grenade, but it still only makes it solid. The fact you get 3 of them is really, really big, up from 2 before. And the cluster bombs that come out, each one of them has the potential to stagger a boss. It has that level of stagger, and they delay. So they go off like kind of one at a time in an AoE, and so it'll stagger them multiple times. So it's a huge stall. It doesn't do the most damage in the world unless you've got like the flame stacks and the AoE with it, and then it can actually do some sizable damage. But it's more about that absolute disruption. Like, I think this is maybe one of the most disruptive grenades in the game. Other than the one that directly stuns and the one that directly like holds everything. But it's definitely like the one you want to choose on Ogrren. So if you're an Ogrren only player, there's almost no decision to be made here with 3 of these. Yeah, it's just really solid. It buys you everything you need. It's direct damage if you wall up a boss or something, or a crusher or a mutant directly in the face with it, and then it just disrupts everything after wallop. So yeah, it's very solid, but it is nowhere near as OP as all this stuff is up here.
Listen, Mystery. This is a scrub opinion. I just like throwing boxes at people's faces. I like the thunk sound it makes.
It's good. Then you would love the big friendly rock.
And you're goddamn right. Rock is rock, and rock is good, dude.
So it's standard?
I have no fucking idea. I just know I like the rock.
I don't know.
I love rock, dude.
Good. I'm gonna put it in rock in not so good category. The reason being
slander.
I mean, reason being, what can you do with a rock on like that you couldn't do with anything else on like low difficulties? Like if
I'll show you what I can do with a goddamn rock, buddy.
Oh, please don't.
You better watch your windows.
Yeah, my windows. Not again. The message you taped to the last one, or rubber banded to the last one, was very touching, but my wife did not approve.
Yeah.
So I mean, the rock, it's like on low difficulties. It's funny to throw the rocks at mutants and stuff, but also you could just hit them in the face with a pickaxe or power maul or literally anything else, or just watch them or dodge and watch them go by and beat them up. And that's pretty much the only thing you're doing with rock. You can't. They literally do nothing to armor, which is so pathetic. Like this is a big ass rock, and like blunt objects like this are what's supposed to be the counter to armor. It would make sense that it would like crush in their skull or something. If this had some sort of effect that gave it like rending or something, it would be a different story, because then you could use it to like snipe targets, but it does nowhere near enough damage. It has a pretty good cooldown. You get lots of them, but
it should just one-shot crushers.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at this point, what doesn't? So,
or I honestly think if you left click throw it, it should one-shot crushers. I also think you should have the right click underhanded option like Veteran, where you make it like a bowling ball. Knocks everything.
Oh, that would be awesome. It should be really big. It should Katamari.
I'm literally not. Yeah, I'm literally not joking right now. I genuinely think this would make rock really good if you just can right click and then like bowling ball scoop it under, and it just sweeps everyone's legs down and knocks them over.
No joke. I think it should Katamari dudes and like just roll them up and just go down the hallway and clear. No, but that would actually be a pretty clever idea. Like just the underclick roll and do that. They have to make the rock like bigger to make it make sense for that. But the rock is like kind of just. It's just completely outclassed. Like there's huge portions of the game where this serves no purpose because it won't hurt anything it's actually threatening, and there's way too many of those enemies, so you end up having to go for the other options. The same thing, I'm gonna also say that the Ogrren Big Bomb is in this category. There's no fucking way in hell you are giving your Ogrren, unless you have the ammo crate thing, and then you get one for free, but that's not really in the consideration. Field supplies, what is it called? Field improv? This is you're not giving an Ogrren a pack of grenades so he can use one of these things, because the game is far too jank and too finicky to depend on one grenade to do the job. What a grenade needs to do, a single grenade needs to do, is like stagger some stuff and disrupt some stuff so you can actually kill it.
Rock.
This one attempts to kill everything outright, but the health on a lot of things is too high, and or they might not be in the blast radius, or they might be obscured somehow, and you have one shot to make this work, and if it fucks up and doesn't kill the things you need it to kill, you are out a grenade now, and versus the guy with cluster bombs who can just keep chucking them.
There's one thing this was really good for. Twins hard mode. At least when it came out. I have no idea what it looks like now, but I do remember when Twins hard mode came out. I was in the Darktide Discord server. We devised a strategy to beat it very easily for anyone, and that was just let the Ogrren use the hit ammo box with field improv as much as he wants, and every single wave that it spawns the elites, just drop one of these, and it kills all of them. Yeah. It was a very simple strategy,
and not very impressive.
It did work.
Sure.
I know it's not very impressive.
These days, the answer is everybody can just kill all those elites by themselves. It's no problem. Twins hard mode is like
back in my day.
Twins hard mode is our BDs and Ogrren just like they just swarm on the twins and just beat them down with their bully clubs, and the twins are like, stop! Like they can't even get their shields up and they can't stand up. It's crazy.
I remember when people were like, it was literally impossible to beat that with like random.
Yeah, pubs. Yeah, they're trash. What the fuck is this? Oh, this is RBD's grenade. What do you think about the RBD's impact grenade?
I think the fact that this has to, I think the fact this has to compete with the shock mine is a travesty. I think this grenade is okay, but I don't think there's a single world where you actually take this grenade over the other two options.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, if you're running Dog, you're running the infinite regen one. If you're running Douglas, you're just running shock mine. This one, yeah, it finds itself in that awkward spot. It's a solid grenade. That's where I'll rank it. I don't want to give it too much, like I don't want to hit it too hard for being in competition with two.
Listen, man, I used it one time, and I was like, this is cool,
standard?
But wow, this other stuff is just so... That's kind of where I think it
Maybe
is.
standard.
It's just kind of like...
Actually, you know what? Just the vibes of this grenade is very standard, yeah.
It's literally just default grenade.
Yeah.
Default grenade.
The thing that's good about it
in Call of Duty.
That's true. The thing that's good about it is like kind of a get out of jail free for like any oops I fucked up situation, because it'll stagger a boss to the face instantly. It'll clear space for you to get out. It's kind of like a lesser shredder, but yeah, you only get 4 of them. I mean, 4 is a lot for any grenade, but like you get 4 of them and that's it, because you're not taking regen with this. Like there's no way you would do that. You would just take the shock mine. And if you have Dog, you can do that every 50 seconds anyway. So what's the fucking point? Okay, Assail.
Exactly.
What do you think about Assail?
It's been a roller coaster. I think Assail's solid. I think Assail... There's going to be a lot of stuff in this solid tier, I'm realizing. Especially after this last patch.
Yeah,
they really did, like...
This is the Optimist turn, guys. Tanner... I told Tanner he has to glaze Fat Shark tonight, or else he doesn't get his paycheck.
It's not even... It's not even optimism. It's just like, yeah, all of the criticism that all of the people have given Fat Shark over the years, they finally have like standardized so many things and solved so many problems.
So they
like,
did a good job.
It's more just this. Yeah,
this is the best update they've ever had.
No, I think the crafting update was the best update.
That's probably true.
That update did so goddamn much. It became really hard to criticize Fat Shark after that. It's to the point now where like when they post on Reddit, they're like, hey guys, here's what we're doing. And some goofball is like, oh, still no solo mode, still no weapon, because they actually get down.
I love those fucking morons.
Before that update, yeah, before this
I love
update,
those people posting on the Steam forums, posting that. It's like, dude, you have a PC. The mod exists.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those people actually like get shooed away now, whereas before that people were like, yeah, no, that crafting up. Anyway, Assail is really strong. I think Assail has this gigantic wall called Havoc, Bozo, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and pretty much.
if this was a Havoc tier list, I would put this shit in rework, please. Honestly,
yeah. Well, we can't do that.
Wish,
yeah.
I know.
I guess we can later, but like I don't want to make this.
Hold on. Here's something I wish. I wish Assail had a third side node that was just transform the right click into a giant Assail shard that just punctures the Crusher's skull and one-shots them.
Dude, yeah, something like that would be awesome.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. I genuinely think...
I know that they're not done reworking, so they are coming back to Psyker and Veteran to do actual things to them, so I'm kind of hoping that they do spruce up some of these abilities to make them more relevant, because like Smite and Head Pop, very relevant in Havoc. This one just completely dinks off. Literally, it just bounce off of... yeah.
No, this literally cannot be used. Just let me hold the right click and let it be like a charging meter or something. Maybe like after like 2 seconds.
Channel Peril into it. It just gets glows more and more. Starts glowing red hot, and then you just pierce this. You know, just have it like be a channel ability, kind of like a head pop, but like a rail gun or something. This like gets a rail gun.
Exactly.
The other idea was just like having this be a passive, like having it have a add-on that's just a passive thing where like if you have this, if you don't plan on using any of the other blitzes, and it's just kind of like comes around and like snipes off like nearby enemies that are attacking you, like little trash enemies, right? It does enough damage to kill trash. That could be useful.
I don't know about turning Psyker into fucking Virgil from fucking Capcom.
Well, we're turning him into RBs, right? You just get that. Like, you know,
But,
the dog passively goes and kills stuff. Assail could, as a blitz, like, since it's less usable in, like, you know, a straight up sense.
Basically, you're saying to make it like the one spell in Dark Souls, the Crystal Soul Mass.
Yes. Yeah, actually. Something like that. I don't know. That was just one idea. So I like both ideas here, but like, yeah, it's solid. But yeah, when you hit that Havoc wall, it's just gonna fall off really hard. Like, I'm gonna make a build with this, just to show it on the channel, but I'm gonna play Auric. I'm not playing Havoc. Like, I'm not griefing people.
Yeah, no, it literally doesn't work in Havoc because it's just ding 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 ding.
And speaking of griefing and working in Havoc,
I got something to say. I got something to say. I got something to say. I got something to say.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
I got something to say. All right, mystery. The people, they holding me back. The government, mystery.
Many people are saying.
The people need to hear my message. The people need to hear my message. All right, mystery. I think Smite, after 4 consecutive rounds of buffs, I think I have to concede. I think Smite is really, really, really fucking good now. I have to concede. Yeah, I mean, you know, they only gave it 100% damage. Then when that wasn't enough, they gave it another 100% damage. And then when that wasn't enough, they added a 20% rending node.
Yeah.
And then when that wasn't enough, they added a fucking unlimited Smite
just way to sustain it permanently.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so now you can Smite literally forever. Friends. It does 200% damage it used to.
Like, when I uncover a build that I look at and I go, oh, this needs to be patched. Like, this isn't right. Like, there's something, like, this fundamentally isn't right. Like, the second I went into Psychanium, I was like, I'm gonna make a Smite build. And then I went into Psychanium, put Scryers on it, and then I realized what was going on with the cooldown reduction on Psychonetic's Aura, and I went, oh shit. Like, I just like paused there and I was like, so if you have 3 elite enemies killed in your radius during your 10-second overcharge of Smite, you can sustain this forever. And that's obviously easy as fuck to do. So you just Smite for minutes at a time, and it branches to everything on the map. It literally shuts everything down. Hard shutdown too. Like, it is shock mine for everything, and it's not like it doesn't do any damage either. Because with Empowered Psionics, which is not hard to keep up, like, people say, oh, you have to choose Empowered Psionics with it. What else would you fucking choose? Like, there's no reason to do anything else. Who cares? You are doing, I mean, just watch the video. I just walk through the level with everybody else safeguarding me and do 2.8 million damage. Yeah, it took like 5-10 minutes longer than normal does, but like, it wasn't hard. You just walk through the level. It's like, this is like some of the hardest content in the game, and it scales with the content because it doesn't care how many people are in front of it. It's like Flame Staff, but just nothing gets to play back. And it shouldn't exist, but it exists.
You can use this in combination of Flame Staff. There's nothing stopping you from,
right, yes, you could min-max and just go
doing,
and it's out, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing stopping you from getting a half charge of Flame Staff.
And starting them off.
Okay, now they have like 10 stacks on them. Now I'm gonna Smite them, and then Perilous Combustion gets them up to 31 stacks, and it's like,
it's so good, like, that's not even necessary. You can just play lazy as fuck, like I was doing, and it's just fine, because your team can just go kill the stuff that's paralyzed too, because you have a whole fucking team, but you're just doing all of it. So yeah, broken ass ability, don't fix it. I love it. Okay, head pop.
My beloved, what have they done to you?
Remember, include the kinetic flare, the guaranteed boom boom boom. Shut up.
I'm not actually a fan. Shut up. I'm not actually a big fan of kinetic flare. I think this ability is just standard. I think it does what it does really good. Yeah, I think it does what it does really good. I think it's honest work. I think in the greater context of the game, this ability kind of sucks in all of the content that isn't like Havoc with a Flame Staff. And then in that content, it actually gives you something to do when you are pinned down by gunners.
Yeah.
But I just, dude, let me put it to you this way. This ability has not fucking changed since the beta. It just has been getting more damage increases.
Yeah.
No, listen. That's what I'm saying. All they have done to this ability throughout the entire game's life is raise its damage so that it still one-shots gunners. That's literally all they've done, because that's all it needs to do.
Yeah.
This is the most standard ass ability I could ever imagine. You hold down a button after in a pre-designated amount of time, you get 1 elite kill in exchange for your time and peril spent. This
True.
could not be a more standard ability.
But how do we rank it on, like, okay, so the thing is like, if you're not using Smite, and you're not using Assail, right? Those are 2 active abilities that you probably make your build around, right? This is just the auto include. Otherwise, and it gives you something useful to do when you're outranged, or just like can pick something very usefully. And kinetic flares is free damage. It's like a free elimination every 12 seconds on something valuable.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's
honestly,
standard.
In Havoc, that free elimination is really not that big of a deal. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When you're dealing with just a pack of like 20 things, do you actually give a fuck if one of them got eliminated? God forbid it's a crusher and it doesn't get eliminated, and then it's like it's not actually changed the game state.
All right, well,
because
I'll consider it high standard. I kind of want to put it solid, but yeah.
Most of the nah, man, because like look at how good Assail is outside of Havoc, right? Can you really say?
Well, Assail carries outside of Havoc. Let's clear the whole map.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. Can you really, in good faith, say that Assail and like let's just say like Auric Maelstrom, right? Let's just remove Havoc from the conversation for him. Can you really say Assail and Brain Rupture are honestly both like as good as one another? I don't think you can. I think Assail's just better.
Okay, we'll put it.
Think,
to those of you who use Brain Rupture and are sad, it's high standard. Okay, it's.
I don't think there's anything to be sad about that.
Yeah,
I think this is the definition of standard. It came out with the game and it has not changed at all.
You use it when you're not using the other 2. There you go.
Exactly.
You're gonna take one of them. Why not make it Brain Burst, guys?